What's up and welcome back to the Explore Inspired Show. It's episode 12 and I'm Jonathan Ronzio. Today we're going to be talking about the importance of setting a baseline for yourself and sometimes going back to the basics. Now this topic came up because in about 10 minutes I'm going to be jumping in the car, meeting my buddy Keith, and we're going to be driving up to Mount Monadnock. Mount Monadnock is pretty well known across the world. I think it's actually the second most climbed mountain in the world after Mount Fuji out in Japan. I'd have to double check that stat, but I believe I heard that somewhere. And it's the most prominent peak in southern New Hampshire. And it's probably just, I don't know, I think it's like 3,100 feet or something like that. But Monadnock, now Keith has never done it, so I'll be checking in. We'll splice in some like vlogging style stuff throughout the day on the trail with him and see what he thinks of the hike. But Monadnock was the first mountain that I ever climbed. It was actually back in, I think, 2008, maybe 2007, somewhere around there. And I went with my friends Leo and Ben, and it was the first peak that I ever hiked up and stood atop. And that's kind of where the addiction to climb or hike or just be in the mountains kind of started for me. And I find myself every year, every other year, just going back to Monadnock. And it's important, like, while sometimes in your life you might feel like doing the same thing you've always done is repetitious and monotonous and you're stagnating and you're not getting anywhere, you're not doing anything different or growing, but there are some things that it's just important to do on a standard, consistent basis to know where you're at, to set that baseline. And for me, Monadnock has become that because that's where it started for me. And then in 2007 or 2008, you know, it was a full day outing and we drove up and we like brought a whole lunch and it was a couple hours we took to just hike and get to the top and enjoy the view, and it was amazing and it was like strenuous and we had a great time, and now when I go back, like we're just gonna drive up there this afternoon and like now I go and I run it and I get up there, you know, from the bottom to the top in like around a half hour. My goal today is to get under 30 minutes, and then, you know, another 20 or 30 minutes down, and I'm running this mountain, and not that I'm not appreciating the views or appreciating the hike along the way, but it's just you know, that's where I've come as far as like understanding where I'm at now and looking back to where I started and seeing that growth and seeing now how comfortable I am in the mountains and how fast I move. And it doesn't take away from the fact that I still freaking love this trail, the White Cross Trail or the White Dot Trail, either one of them. The Spellman was the first one that we ever did up there, which is a little bit roundabout and a little steeper. But yeah, just kind of reflecting back on where you started and where you have been, and being able to look back on that consistently and know that the baseline was here and now you're up here. And that gives you so much energy and so much enthusiasm. And for me, Monadnock has become not only a place that I like to go on a quick afternoon and go run to the top and down and reflect on that myself, but also introduce new people. Like, it was the first mountain that my wife climbed back when we were just dating, and I had moved back to the New England area from Colorado, and I took Alex on her first hike with me, and it was up Monadnock, and now Keith, as of a year ago, he has been getting into hiking, and he went and did the Franconia Ridge Loop up in New Hampshire in the White Mountains with me, and we did Chicora and a couple other things since, like the Kinsman's this winter, and that was his first winter hike. And Keith is always a blast to get out there. He's got a perfect mentality for attacking the mountains, which is just like, you know, he brings a light just humor to how much it can suck, and allows himself to keep pushing forward, which is good. You need that. But yeah, this will be his first time on Monadnock. And so for me, it's become not only a place to reflect, but also a place to introduce people that I care about to the things that I care about, right? Like blending those worlds and bringing them together. And if what happened for me with Monadnock can happen to other people that I like in my inner circle, then that's a win for both of us, I think. So I'm going to be heading up there with Keith. I'm going to be jumping in the car shortly, and just wanted to quickly set the tone for what this is going to be about. And like I said, I will splice in some of the stuff from the climb today to wrap up episode 12, and that'll be fun. You'll be able to watch us on the mountain. So we made it. We're up here in Jaffrey, New Hampshire at Mount Monadnock. We're at the base right now. This is Keith. You've probably seen Keith in some Explore-inspired videos in the past.
I'm back.
Running around some mountains. Good times. Keith is back. Yes, we were just talking about how the fact it's going to be a longer drive round trip than a hike up and down. But that's okay. It's just,
It's a longer drive just to get up here than up and down this mountain.
Well,
let alone round trip. Yeah.
If you run it. So the majority of people will take 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah.
Maybe up to 5 round trip hiking Monadnock, and we're trying to get 30 minutes up today. We'll see.
Training has paid off.
We'll see if you can keep up. So I made it to the top of Mount Monadnock in 34 minutes and 13 seconds. I didn't hit my sub 30 goal, but that's okay. I got to keep working towards it. Did not stop once, but there were some times when I probably should have kept running that I chose to conserve some energy for the steeper sections. But still an awesome time. And now I'm up here scoping out the route below, watching for Keith. He's somewhere down there. And we'll see what his time clocks at for his first time up Monadnock. But what a beautiful day, man. Like I said, no matter how many times I've been here, no matter how many bigger mountains I've climbed, it's always good to go back to where you started. I see him. He just crested over the ridge right there. Come on, man, push to the top.
Learned another valuable lesson today.
What was that lesson?
Slow and steady wins the race, and hike at your own pace. I tried to keep up with you in the beginning. That was stupid. You were just going faster pace than I should have gone, and I wasted a lot of energy right in the beginning. And there's parts up here where I could have just ran for days, and I just couldn't.
So we're here on top of Mount Monadnock. Keith did great. Good job, man. You got it in 51 minutes?
Yeah.
First time up here, made it to the top in under an hour. Most people don't do that, so way to push it. So I got up in 34. That was my best time. Didn't hit my 30 mark, but that's okay. Next time, maybe. So more or less, I just wanted to kind of end this in a way that, for me, hiking has become something that I do all the time. Running, mountain running. This is my gym, right? And when you start reflecting on the thing that you do all the time, how far have you come from where you started? Because Monadnock right here is where I started about a decade ago. And
this is where you'll end.
This is where I'm going to end.
This is his last day hiking.
This is last day.
Happy Keith Day.
Happy Keith Day. Yeah, so what is it for you? What do you do consistently that you can look back, a decade ago and be like, this is how I was doing it then, or what I was doing then versus now, and see how far you've come, how much you've grown, how fast you got, how strong you got, or just what's different about your life in that time while looking at the baseline. And for me today, Monadnock is the baseline, and I've come pretty far. And Keith is setting his baseline right now at 51 minutes. And we'll check back in 10 years.
I figure if you set the baseline real low,
that's
you
not
could
low.
Beat it pretty easy.
That's not low, man.
I know.
It took me a couple of years of coming up here before I broke an hour.
Yeah.
Good job. I'll catch you next week on the Explore Inspired show. Go to exploreinspired.com for all the past shows. And there's a podcast coming out soon called the Stokecast, and a whole bunch of other things in the works, some courses. So I hope you check it out, and also just like the page on Facebook or subscribe on YouTube. Here it's Jonathan Ronzio on YouTube or Explore Inspired on Facebook. One and the same kind of has become, it was this brand for a while that I was trying to separate myself from, but there was always this pull bringing me back together with it. So it's just kind of one thing. It's like Jonathan Ronzio or Explore Inspired. Either way, you can search either on the internet or social and connect. So enjoy the hike and let me know what your baseline is. Where are your basics? What are your roots? And establish that, and then reflect on it and return to it, and keep seeing how far you grow along the way, and how fast you get, or how much more money you're making, or how much stronger the base of your relationship is when you return to the things that made you strong and that inspired you and made you enthused in the first place. Have a great day, and I'll catch you next week on the Explore Inspired Show.